All right, let's dive in. Today, we're tackling something that is, no joke, keeping a lot of people up at night. AI compliance. You know, AI is everywhere now. It's the engine driving so much of modern tech. But the rules, the regulations, they're turning into this crazy, complex maze. So we're going to look at how one platform, called Haiec, is offering a completely different way to find your way through it all.
So let's just get right to it. I want you to think about this for a second. If you're building with AI, are you compliant? It sounds like a simple question, right? But the answer, well, that can be super complex. And honestly, it can be a little scary if you're not 100% sure.
And this really sets the scene, doesn't it? The whole AI landscape right now is a lot. You've got these massive new regulations like the EU AI Act coming down the pike. At the same time, there are constant security threats aimed right at our AI models. Then, you've got auditors knocking on your door demanding proof, and your boss is pushing you to innovate faster than ever. It's pretty much a perfect storm.
Okay, so let's stick with that idea of a perfect storm for a minute and really dig into the core challenge here. What makes AI compliance just so different from everything that's come before?
Well, for starters, the old playbook is completely useless now. You know what I'm talking about? The manual checklists, the quarterly review meetings, that stuff just doesn't cut it. Why? Because AI systems aren't static things. They're constantly learning, constantly evolving. So that compliance check you proudly finished in January, it could be totally irrelevant by March. It's literally like trying to use a map from the 80s to drive through a city today. It just doesn't work.
And that leads to a really critical point. When the old ways fail, what's left? Pretty much guesswork. And let's be real. Hoping for the best is not a strategy, not when your company's reputation and a whole lot of money is on the line.
This quote right here really nails it. It's not just about one team, it's about everyone. The developer who's actually building the AI, the compliance officer prepping for a massive audit, the security team trying to protect the whole thing in production. Every single person in that chain needs a strategy with zero guesswork. They need certainty.
And here's where all that guesswork leads, to failure. And look, it's not just one single point of failure. A big piece of the pie, about 35%, is actual code vulnerabilities. But check this out. Almost as big, at 30%, is just a lack of documentation. That's wild. Then you throw in confusion about which rules you even have to follow, plus all the risks from your vendors, and yeah, you can see how this whole thing can crumble fast.
Okay, so if the old maps are useless and guesswork is a recipe for disaster, what's the answer? This is where we get to the really interesting part. It's a totally different way of thinking, a shift to what's called a deterministic approach. The whole idea is to build compliance with absolute certainty, right from the very beginning.
So, deterministic. What does that even mean? It's actually a pretty simple but really powerful idea. It means the same input plus the same rules equals the same result. Every single time. No exceptions. And this is the key takeaway. The system isn't using some other unpredictable AI to check your AI. It's not AI checking AI. It's using predictable, logical pattern matching and code analysis. It's science, not some mysterious black box.
And what comes out of this deterministic engine? Something called a verifiable artifact. The best way to think about it is like a tamper-proof digital receipt. It proves you did the work. It's got this cryptographic SHA-256 hash on it, which is basically a unique, unfakeable digital fingerprint. So this isn't just a promise that you're compliant, it's actual proof you can take to an auditor, a customer, your board, whoever, and say, here's the evidence.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But what does this actually look like for the people doing the work every day? Let's open up the toolkit and check out the tools inside.
The whole framework is broken down into this really simple three-step process. Step 1, understand. Figure out which of the zillion AI regulations actually apply to you. Step 2, prepare. This is where you scan, you assess, you find the gaps, and you close them. And finally, step 3, prove. You generate that verifiable evidence. It's a super clear path from I'm so confused to I've got this. All right, let's talk to the developers in the room. This is where it gets real. You get tools like LLM Verify. This thing is awesome. It detects threats like prompt injection and can even redact sensitive personal info. And the best part? It runs 100% locally. Your code, your IP, it never leaves your machine. Then there's an AI security scanner that maps vulnerabilities to standards you actually use, like SOC 2 and OWASP. It even has a GitHub app that automates scans on every single pull request.
So you're building compliance into your code, not bolting it on at the end.
Okay, now let's switch gears and talk to the compliance folks. Your world is all about oversight, documentation, and, well, proof. For you, there's a compliance wizard that walks you through assessments for the big ones: EU AI Act, GDPR, SOC 2, you name it. There's an AI inventory, which is basically a single source of truth for every AI model and API key your company is using. And of course, the evidence pack. That's where you bundle up all that proof and generate those beautiful, audit-ready reports with the SHA-256 hash.
And that connection from the developer's code straight to the compliance report brings us to the final and maybe the most important part of this whole thing, having evidence that is actually truly audit-ready.
You know, if there's one thing I want you to walk away with today, it's this. This is about making a fundamental shift. It's the difference between saying, yeah, we think we're compliant, and saying, we can prove we're compliant. And in today's world, with regulators and customers watching your every move, that shift from hope to proof, man, that's everything. And look, this isn't just talk. This is how they back it up. They're not just asking you to take their word for it. They're showing you the receipts. The claim that it's deterministic? That's because it uses pattern matching, not another LLM. The claim that it's verifiable? That's the SHA-256 hash on every artifact. The fact that it's open source? Yeah, their core tools are right there on NPM for anyone to see. And that it's 100% local? That's how they protect your secret sauce. They're showing their work, plain and simple.
So that really brings us to the final question, the one I want to leave you with. As we all race ahead in this new AI world, we have to ask, is what we're building standing on a foundation of solid proof? Or is it all just built on promises, on guesswork? Something to think about.